Frozen 2 is a pretty awesome movie for a multitude of different reasons. From the funny dialogue to the heartfelt moments, there's a lot to love in the film. However, there is a much deeper reason to truly appreciate the film. That being the positive message the film makes in regards to dealing with serious mental health issues. Not quite sure what we mean? Well, stick around, and in this video we will take a look at how Elsa overcomes a serious bout of anxiety and how Anna faces down her own darkness, literally walks through it, and comes out on top. Guess these two sisters really do learn to let it go. Let's dive right in. Oh, and be warned, this video will contain major spoilers for Frozen 2. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you should probably run out and see it real quick. We'll be here waiting for you when you get back.
Unredeemable monster!
Greatest mistake of your life!
We didn't even kiss you!
The original Frozen was, upon its release back in 2013, heralded as a step forward in terms of Disney princess movies. Gone was the need for the princess to have a dashing prince or gallant knight step up to save her. Instead, Frozen gave us a pair of sisters who made their own way in the world, and who saved the kingdom themselves. Frozen 2 continues the trend of having Queen Elsa and Princess Anna do things on their own. This time, however, in addition to all of the outside issues that they have to deal with, a lot of the conflict for both characters is internal. At the beginning of the film, things are relatively peachy, looking a lot more like how we saw the status quo in the Frozen Fever short film than things did at the beginning of the original movie. However, below the surface, there were rumblings of something much more serious. While Elsa has, by this point, definitely settled into her role as Queen of Arendelle, you can tell that there was something bubbling in the back of her mind. While Anna sings about the glories of time moving forward, bouncing around the town joyfully, Elsa is reserved, staring out over her kingdom, deep in thought. She is racked with anxiety, and seems to be closing herself off to a certain degree because of it, feeling pulled down by the weight of expectations. Oh, and hearing a voice that no one else seems to be able to hear probably doesn't help too much either. That would make pretty much anyone just a bit anxious. And honestly, looking at Elsa's backstory, it's completely understandable that her natural reaction to pressure of any kind would be to retreat inward. It's literally what she's done her entire life. She was born different, and at a very young age was saddled with the trauma of causing her sister to nearly bite the big one. After that, her parents instilled in her the need to hide what made her different from the world, for fear of it causing serious problems for herself and those around her. To make matters worse, Elsa lost her parents when she was still young, and was then thrust into a major position of power, with an entire kingdom of people relying on her. Yeah, no pressure. Just none at all. All in all, past trauma and the fact that she is different from literally everyone else around her sounds to us like a recipe for some serious anxiety issues. And we can definitely see her dealing with this anxiety in her big Let It Go level musical number, Into the Unknown. While on the surface, the song seems to be about her singing to a disembodied voice about how she wants to ignore it and just go about her day, if you read between the lines, it is fairly easy to see that it is a song about wanting to shake off all of the pressures, all of the stress, and just go off into the unknown. Which is something that a lot of us who suffer from mental issues, be it anxiety or depression or what have you, have felt before. And in the world of Frozen, this is something that not only can be done, but in some cases is pretty necessary. Now let's take a second before we move forward in the plot to touch upon Anna. Like Elsa, Anna definitely has some stuff that she has to deal with throughout the film. However, in this case, it really comes down to just how closely she holds on to her family and friends. See, for Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, and Olaf are the most important things in her life. And because of this, she holds them incredibly close, which is understandable. In the first Frozen, we saw a young woman who didn't really have anyone. Sure, Elsa was around, but she was shut off, so Anna was just kind of on her own. However, throughout that film, we saw her fight and fight hard in order to keep what little connection she had with her sister, even to the point of turning into a solid ice statue. So it goes without saying that the people she loves are incredibly important to her, to such a degree that she is willing to do anything and everything for them. They are a major part of who she is. And now that we've established the headspace of both of our heroines, let's move into the meat of the plot, and into the magical forest. And just a quick little reminder to subscribe to ScreenRant. Also, don't forget to turn on those notifications by clicking the little bell thingy. Using your phone, turn on notifications through YouTube settings. We all know by this point how stubborn YouTube can be. As the protagonists make their way north to try to figure out the mystery of the voice and the elemental powers that are threatening Arendelle, we have Elsa, who is just trying to figure this stuff out, Anna, who is dead set on sticking by Elsa no matter what, Kristoff, who's trying real hard to find the words to ask Anna to marry him, and Olaf, who is just kinda there. Fairly quickly, upon finding themselves in the company of the North Uldra people and facing down 4 elemental spirits, the first major fracturing of the group occurs, as Elsa, Anna, and Olaf head off to try to find the source of the voice, leaving Kristoff and Sven with the North Uldra. While this might seem like a way for the writers to simply pare the cast down a bit, this plays a pretty big part in Anna's struggle here in a little bit. The 2 sisters plus Olaf then find themselves at the wreckage of their parents' vessel, where they learn the truth of what their parents set out to do, and ultimately what happened to them. After this, Elsa decides to make her way to the mystical land of Ottohallen, and sends Anna and Olaf away back down the river. This is the beginning of Elsa's healing period, specifically the moment she finds herself on the northern shores, facing down the thrashing ocean waves. Here she is set off down her own path, finally doing what she wants to do. While she has so far been racked with anxiety, not really feeling like she had any control over her situation, in this moment, Elsa knew what to do, and really had no qualms about it. From this point forward, Elsa learns a lot about her origins, and you can see clearly that it goes a long way towards helping her feel more like she belongs, like she has an actual purpose and identity. And as we see at the end of the film, as she has abdicated her throne to her sister, she is free of the pressures that drug her down. Which brings us to Anna. After being forcefully separated from her sister, her and Olaf quickly find themselves trapped in a dark, dank cave, which is bad enough. But upon learning the truth of her grandfather's actions, Olaf is taken from her in a flurry of wind and snow, due to the fact that in that moment, Elsa was frozen solid, and her magic that kept Olaf around faded. So here was Anna, completely alone and facing a seemingly impossible task of having to destroy an entire dam. Kristoff's not around anymore, Sven's not there, Olaf is gone, presumably for good, which means in turn that Elsa is probably also gone for good, and she had just found out with 100% certainty that her parents actually did perish in the storm. Understandably, she feels crushed by the weight of it all, and again, she is completely alone, something that amounts to her worst fear. She even utters the line, "Hello darkness, I'm ready to succumb," which is pretty flippin' rough. And honestly, somewhere that a lot of us have probably been before. However, it's her musical number here that gets to the crux of the film's mental health message. The Next Right Thing is a song that talks about just doing the next thing, no matter how small. This is actually an idea that mental health experts refer to as chunking, or taking impossibly large and daunting tasks and breaking them down into small, manageable pieces. In this case, Anna splits it into bits as small as take the next step, then the one after that. From there, Anna does exactly what she needs to do, not letting her darkness, inner or otherwise, drag her down and cause her to give up. In the first film, Anna's strength came from her bond with her sister, and she was able to accomplish a lot because of it. However, in the second film, she finds even greater strength in herself, and she is able to find the courage to face down a group of stone giants and get what needs to be done. Then at the end of the film, Anna is now the Queen of Arendelle, and Elsa is free to be herself in the north. Anna here is put into a position where her newfound inner strength will greatly benefit her. So the journey that the 2 sisters went on in this film was not only for the sake of saving Arendelle from the wrath of some angry elemental spirits, or to make up for the rather ill-advised actions of their grandfather against a group of indigenous people. In truth, the entire ordeal was so much more than that. It was a journey to work out their own internal issues and help them find the place where they truly belong. It's a journey that taught them that really all you've got to do in life is just keep moving forward. And this is something that a lot of audience members could walk away from the movie with, especially a lot of young kids. Look, each of us have to find our own way in the world. And while things may look bleak, like they aren't going the way you want them to, you can always find strength in yourself. Also, don't forget to talk to people about your feelings and issues. That's not a message in the film, but we here at ScreenRant thought that it was important enough that we should probably say it anyways. While it's important to keep taking the next step and the step after that, it's also helpful to get help every once in a while. And there's nothing wrong with it. Just do what's best for you. And that is how Frozen 2 can help teach kids how to deal with mental health issues. It's a powerful thing indeed. What did you think about Frozen 2 and its message? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And while you're down there, consider subscribing to ScreenRant for more awesome videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the movies.